Jai Hind everyone. So this is the third lecture of our subject digital system design. And this we will be covering the logic gates and the Boolean algebra. So coming to the first slide of ours. So the term logic means a statement having binary decisions. That means either it is true or it is false. That means either yes or no. Or in binary terms we can say either the output is 1 or the output is 0. And so to justify these, there are 7 logic gates available in our subject, in our system, digital system. So these are basic gates, universal gates and exclusive gates. And or not are categorized in basic gate category. NAND and OR are universal gates. XOR and XNOR are exclusive gates. So starting with the most basic gate, it is a NOT gate, also known as an inverter. So the symbol for this can be seen here. This triangle is related to the buffer action. So this triangle is responsible for the buffering action. By buffering, I mean that there will be no change in the input and the output. And this hollow dot is known as bubble. This bubble is responsible for inversion. Okay. So this y is equal to a bar is the expression for this NOT gate, and this is the truth table for this NOT gate, in which if I apply a 0 input, I will get the 1 output, and if I apply 1 input, I will get the output as 0. So this is the simplest of the gates, which is having a single input, and the output obtained is the inversion of the applied input. Now coming to the AND gate, this is a symbol for an AND gate, and as the name suggests, the output of an AND gate can be high only if all the inputs are high. That means both A and B are high. That means it can be considered as a product of the inputs. So if we see there, so in this truth table we can see that when both the inputs are high, then when A is equal to 1 and B is equal to 1, only in this case I am getting a high output. In all the three cases, in all other three cases, I am getting a 0 output. So this is an AND gate, and expression for AND gate is the product of the inputs. That means A dot B. And now coming to the third gate, OR gate. This OR gate is represented by this symbol, and the expression for OR gate is A plus B. That means logical OR. That means to get the high output, either A or B, any one of them should be high. That means even if one of the input is high, I will get my output as the high. So in these three cases, either A or B or both are high, so I'm getting the output high. And in this first case, both A and B are 0, so I'm getting a low output. So these are these basic gates. Now coming to the universal gates. Universal gates are NAND gate and NOR gate. So these are called universal gates because all other gates can be designed using these two gates. Separately, NAND can design all other gates. Separately, NOR can design all other gates. This NAND is actually obtained by adding a NOT gate at the output of an AND gate, and similarly this NOR gate is obtained by adding a NOT gate at the output of an OR gate. So the club symbol becomes AND followed by a bubble, and similarly here in NOR, OR followed by bubble. So the truth tables are also inverted. So in NAND gate we were getting high, in AND gate we were getting high output when both the inputs were high. So in this case, if both the inputs are high, I am getting a low output here, and for the rest of the three cases I am getting a high output, and here the output is low. Similarly, for an OR gate we were getting high output when any of the input were high, and low output when all the inputs were low. But NOR gate is the reverse of this OR gate. So if both the inputs are 0, I am getting the high output, and for rest of the three cases I am getting a low output. So this is the De Morgan's theorem, which we will be able to understand after we will be covering the Boolean laws. This is simply the De Morgan's theorem. We will be covering it in detail in the subsequent sections. So this is, and now coming to the last two gates, exclusive gates, XOR and XNOR. So XOR is the exclusive OR and XNOR is exclusive NOR. So these are the symbols for this XOR gate. Here we can see that this is the symbol for an XOR gate, and this is an expression. A bar B plus AB bar is the expression for this, and XOR also has a dedicated symbol. This circled plus is the symbol of an XOR gate. And similarly, this XNOR gate has an expression A bar B bar plus AB, and it has an expression, it has a dedicated symbol of this circle dot. This is expression, this is a symbol for an XNOR gate. Okay, although these can be, it can also be mentioned that it is the bar, it is a complement of an XOR. So in this term it can be also be mentioned like this. Okay, so these are the truth tables for an XOR gate. The truth table says if both the inputs are identical, the output is 0, and if both the inputs are different, output is 1. So here we can see both the inputs are different, so I am getting high output, and for these cases I am getting a low output. Similarly for this XNOR, this is a complement of an XOR gate, so I am getting high output when both the inputs are identical. Here I am getting the high output, and for these two cases when both the inputs are not identical, that means both the inputs are different, I am getting a low output. Okay. So now coming to the universal nature of this NOR and NAND, that means all other gates can be designed using NOR and NAND gates. So this is the simple NOT gate. This is NOT gate using NOR gate. So if I apply a 0 here, so both these inputs will be 0, and if in a NOR gate both the inputs are 0, output will be 1. So this is acting like a NOT gate. Similarly, if I apply a1 here, if I apply 1 here, that means A is equal to 1. So both the inputs will be getting a 1. So NOR gate will be giving 0 output when both the inputs are 1. So this is my NOR operation. Sorry, this is my NOT operation using NOR gate. And similarly, now this is my NOT gate. This is my NOT gate using NOR. This is actually a NOT gate. And now we can easily see this is a NOR gate, and if I apply a NOT at the output of NOR, I will be getting OR output. So this is OR gate using NOR. Now coming to this thing, what is this? This is a AND gate. Like here we can see this will be giving me A bar because this is NOR in form of NOT. So I will be getting here A bar, and here I will be getting B bar, and this NOR gate will add both the inputs A bar and B bar and further an additional bar. So if I apply De Morgan's theorem here, then I will be getting A double bar plus B double bar. So bar will cancel out, so I will be getting A plus B. Sorry, this plus will be converted into dot. This plus will be converted into dot, so I will be getting A dot B. So this A dot B will be considered as AND. Okay. Similarly, we can prove the universal nature of this NAND gate as well. You can check it on your own. This will be your NOT gate. You can verify this. This is your AND gate. You can verify this. And similarly, this one is your OR gate. So you can verify this on your own. So now coming to the basic theorems of Boolean algebra. 0 plus A is your A. That means anything added to 0 will be that thing. That means, or we can say that if I add a 0 to anything, that will remain unaffected. So A plus 0 is A, and 0 into A, something multiplied by 0 will be 0. So these are two very basic rules for A, for 0, and now some basic rules for 1. 1 plus A, anything plus 1, that will be 1, because that A may be 0 or 1, and in any of the case, either 1 plus 0 or 1 plus 1, this will remain high. That means 1 plus anything will be equal to 1. Similarly, 1 into A, something multiplied by 1 will remain unaffected. That means 1 into A is equal to A. Now coming to the commutative law, A plus B, B plus A. So this A plus B, B plus A, that means if two variables are there, we can add them in either order. And similarly, if we have to multiply them, these can be multiplied in any of the order. A dot B is equal to B dot A. Now associative law is, if we have three variables A, B and C, then any two can be added first, and then the sum can be added to the third one. Similarly, for the product case, if there are three variables, they are to be multiplied. So any two can be multiplied first, and then the resultant can be multiplied with the third variable. So this, now coming to the distributive law. A into B plus A, simply opening the brackets, I will be getting AB plus AC, and this is its equivalent in second form. A plus BC is equal to A plus B into A plus C. This can be proved. So if I solve this, and by opening the brackets, I will be getting A into A, this A into A plus this A into C plus A into B plus B into C. So I can take A, or first I will be writing that A into A can be written as A only, because 0 into 0 will be equal to 0 and 1 into 1 will be equal to 1. So I can say that A into A will be equivalent to your A. So this is A. And if I take A common, then I will be having 1 there, 1 plus C plus B plus BC. So now this 1 plus anything, as we have seen in the previous slide, becomes 1. So A into 1, this also we have seen in the previous slide, that something multiplied by 1 remains unaffected. So this becomes A plus BC. Okay, so this is the proof for this distributive law. This A plus B is identical to my left hand side. Similarly, this A plus A bar B is derived from this above relation. If I write this, I can write it as A plus A bar and A plus B. Now this A plus A bar will be equivalent to 1. This is also a property of Boolean law, because either this, if I go with this A plus A bar thing, so either it will be 0 plus 1 or it will be 1 plus 0. In any of the case, in both these cases, output will be 1. So I can say that A plus A bar is equivalent to 1. So this is distributive law. So these laws, which we had already covered in the previous slide, directly or indirectly, are mentioned here explicitly. So A plus A is equal to A, and A into A is equivalent to A. That means any variable added or multiplied any number of times remains unaffected. Now this absorption law. So if I take A common from these left hand side terms, I will be getting 1A into 1 plus B. This 1 plus B is equivalent to your 1. So A into 1 becomes A. Similarly, this A into A plus B is also equivalent to A. So if you open the brackets, you will be getting A into A plus A into B. This A into A is equivalent to your A, and this is again AB. So if I take A common from there, it becomes 1 plus B. So this 1 plus B again becomes 1. So A into 1 is equivalent to your A. Okay. So complementary law, this is also something which we have used in the previous slide. X plus X bar is equal to 1, because either 0 plus 1 or 1 plus 0. In both the cases, output will be 1. So, and similarly for this multiplication, X into X bar will be 0, because either 0 into 1 or 1 into 0, both will result in a 0 answer. And now coming to the involution law states that if a variable is double complemented, then it remains unaffected. That means X double bar is equal to X. And now the last thing, De Morgan's theorem. So for De Morgan's theorem, you can remember that break the line, change the sign, and change the sign. So if we are having A plus B whole bar, then I can write it using De Morgan's theorem as A bar, B bar. I have broken the line, and now the plus sign has changed to dot. Similarly, this A dot B bar can be written as A bar plus B bar. So this is my De Morgan's theorem. And now this last property, principle of duality. So in Boolean algebra, the duality principle is obtained by interchanging and or operators and replacing 0 by 1 and 1 by 0. Compare the identities on the left side with the identities on the right side. Example, A plus 1 is equal to 1, and then A dot 0 is equal to 0. So in this, to find the dual of this expression, I have used here A is retained, this plus is converted to dot, this 1 is replaced by 0, and this one is replaced by 0. So this becomes a dual of this expression, which is also a valid statement. So this is principle of duality. By replacing plus and dot and by replacing 1 and 0, interchanging 1 and 0, we get the dual of that expression. So representation of Boolean expression, we can represent in two forms, SOP and POS. SOP stands for sum of product and POS stands for product of sum. So this AB plus BAC, this thing, we can easily see that AB is a product, this is a product. Similarly, this AC is also a product, and both these products are sum. So this becomes sum of product. And similarly, this is a sum and this is also a sum, and these sums are being multiplied. So this becomes product of sum. Clear? But in both these expressions, we can see that in first and second expression, for both the expressions, all the sum and product terms are not containing all the variables. So these are not the standard SOP and POS. So now we will look into this standard SOP and standard POS. This standard SOP and standard POS are also known as canonical SOP and canonical POS. So in standard SOP and POS expressions, all the terms, all the sum or all the product terms contain all the variables. So if the above condition is satisfied, the Boolean expression is termed as canonical form of Boolean expression. Let's check this. Now this AB plus AC, in this first term, we can see here that this first product term AB, here C is missing. Okay, and this in this second product term here B is missing. So this is not a canonical SOP because there are some deficient terms. Okay, so now how to convert this into canonical? This is simple. So we are multiplying AB by 1 and now replacing this 1 by C plus C bar. Similarly here this AC is also multiplied by 1 and then replacing this 1 by B plus B bar. Okay, so these are the expressions, and when we multiply, when we open these brackets, we get ABC plus ABC bar. Similarly here ABC plus AB bar C, and then we can see that there are these ABC and ABC are repeated twice. So I am written it single time because we know that A plus A is equivalent to A. So anything added or multiplied any number of times can be replaced by its single entry. So I have replaced it by single entry. So now this time there are three products and all three products are having all three variables either in the direct form or in the complemented form. Okay. Similarly, this is convert this into canonical SOP. Okay. So you convert this into canonical SOP, standard SOP. Actually this should be canonical POS. It is written wrong here. So this is POS and this standard SOP instead of standard POS can be used. So A plus B into A plus C. So I am using distributive law here. So I am using, or you can simply see that not distributive law. So I am adding a 0 here. A plus B plus 0. Similarly A plus C plus 0. Adding a 0 to a sum will not affect the sum, and then replacing this 0 by the missing variable. So this 0 is replaced here by C dot C bar, and here this 0 is replaced by B dot B bar. Okay, so then applying the distributive law, this becomes my, so x plus yz is equal to x plus y into x plus z. Okay, x plus z. So this becomes, this is my x, this is my y, this is my x, and this is my z. So x plus y into x plus z. Similarly here also x plus y into x plus z, and then removing the redundant terms, that means this a plus b plus c here, this term and this term here are repeated, so I am writing it only once, and this becomes my canonical POS. So it is mentioned here, remove duplicates, that means the entries which are multiple times I have to replace it by a single entry. So conversion between SOP and POS. So it is very simple to convert this POS into SOP by simply opening the brackets. Here we can see that if I want to convert this POS into SOP, so I can do this very easily by doing this A plus B bar. If I do this A into my A, then A into C, A into C. Similarly, we can continue further and multiply. This B bar into A will become A bar B, A bar B, and B bar into C will become B bar C. So multiplying this thing with now this thing, so in the end I will be getting the minimized term as ASOP. Similarly, if I can convert this SOP into POS, so this A plus B bar C D can be converted to POS by using distributive law. So how we are applying the distributive law? If I consider this as X and this B bar as Y and this CD as Z, so X plus YZ can be written as X plus Y into X plus Z. So I have mentioned it here, and then simply opening the brackets, A plus B bar is retained here, then again applying X plus YZ here, I can get the POS from the SOP. Okay. So now coming to the truth table. So truth table is a table that contains all possible value of logic variables statements in a Boolean expression. So number of possible combinations is equal to raised to power n, where n is equal to number of variables used in Boolean expression. So we will be getting more clarity about this if we go for this truth table, minterm, maxterm, and canonical SOP and POS expressions. So minterm mi should evaluate to 1. That means in a truth table the outputs which are high will relate to minterms for each combination of x and y, and the maxterm is the complement of the minterm. That means the truth table when the outputs are 0. Okay, so let's check this truth table and relate this truth table with the rest of the things. So there are three variables x, y, and z here. So there are three variables here, x, y, and z. I'm changing the color, just hold on. So there are three variables here, x, y, and z, and there is a single output f. So this is the behavior in which we can see that there are three high outputs for these three conditions, 0, 0, 1 and 1, 1, 0 and 1, 1, 1. Okay, so these three becomes my minterms. Minterms are denoted by small m and maxterms are denoted by capital M. So this is written here x bar, y bar, z, because here x is equal to 0, so that's why I'm taking it as x bar. Y is also 0, so that's why y bar, but z is 1, so I will be using z. So this becomes x bar, y bar, z. That means x bar, y bar, and z. So for the next term, x, y, z bar, it is obtained from here x, y, and z is having a 0 value, so that's why z bar. So x, y, z bar. Similarly for this third one, x, y, and z. So that's it is written here x, y, and z. So this becomes a canonical expression and which is obtained from the truth table. And similarly, if I want to write the minterm expression for this, I can check that if I write the decimal equivalents of these, this 000 is equivalent to 0, this is equivalent to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So I can check that where I am getting the high output. So I am getting the high output at this 1, 6, and 7. So I have written it here that minterm expression is 1, 6, and 7. And for the rest of the 5 cases, 0, 2, 3, 4, and 5, I am getting low output, 0 output. So these are mentioned here in form of maxterm expression. This is my maxterm expression. Okay. So we can also write maxterm expression from here. For maxterm, I have to take care into consideration that this bar rules will change. That means if I want to write expression for this m0 here, x is equal to 0, y is equal to 0, and z is equal to 0, then I will say that it is x plus y plus z, not x bar plus y bar plus z bar. Similarly, this m2 is for 0, 1, 0, then it will be x plus y bar plus z. Here 1 is replaced by this bar term, and similarly you can calculate for this one. It is 0 1 1, that means x plus y bar plus z bar. Similarly I can do this for m4 and m5 and write all these all are sums, so there will be 5 sums, and when these 5 sums will be multiplied together, I will be getting a maximum expression. Okay, so in this way a truth table can be converted into min terms, max terms, and similarly a min term, max term can be converted into truth table, and from this truth table, min term, max term, we can deduce the canonical SOP and canonical POS expressions. Okay, so this is left as an exercise for you. You can convert this. Okay, this is a 3 variable table, again like the previous question, and you can write POS form for a boolean function f, which is represented by the following truth table, and write equivalent canonical SOP for this product expression for the following POS expression. So this is 1 3 6 7, these are the max terms, and you are supposed to write the SOP. So from max terms we cannot write actually SOP. So first we have to convert this into truth table, then we will be finding the min terms, and from that min term we can find the SOP expression. So now we have seen this. Now we can minimize these Boolean expressions either by using these Boolean laws or by using some special methods, but there are some issues that we have to take into consideration, that using Boolean laws, if 5 students are solving a question using Boolean laws, then all 5 might not be having the same steps. Somebody might be getting the answer, getting the minimized answer in 3 steps, somebody might be getting the minimized answer in 5 steps, and somebody might not be getting that. But so to replace that, we will be having some standard methods like Carnot map and tabulation method, which we will be covering in our next lecture. Thank you very much.